A bunch of these big kite events, Kristen, so I'm glad they're able to go ahead and move forward with this one. Hope it's you can help them out a little bit with the weather. I mean, everybody knows it's going to be cold.
Yeah, it's going to be cold, but also we've got some snow that's going to move in tomorrow afternoon. So I don't know how long that event lasts, but it could certainly impact them. Snow moving in as we get into late in the afternoon. So a heads up there. Temperatures this morning don't feel too bad. No snow to talk about this morning. 20s across the board here. It does feel cooler, though, once you factor in the wind. Feels like the teens this morning. Storm 4 Max, you can see sweeping clear. No snow to talk about this morning, and we'll stay snow free today. We've got clouds as we're starting the day, but we'll see more sunshine this afternoon. Big picture, we're watching what's going on in Texas. Rain and snow falling there, but this low pressure system is going to continue to head our way as we move through today. It arrives tomorrow, and that's the snow that I'm talking about. Here's how it looks with future forecast again this morning. Lots of clouds, but as we get into the middle of the day, we're expecting to see more sunshine. So that'll be a nice change, although it's still cool. Overnight tonight, pretty quiet, partly cloudy. At midnight, if you're going to be rain in the new year, it will be chilly if you're going to be outside to do that. Count on temperatures in the teens and feels like temperatures closer to the single digits. Friday morning, 6 a.m., lots of cloud cover, but it's dry. We're dry through the morning. We don't see the snow moving in until the afternoon. It's after lunchtime. Snow moves in from the south and will progress farther north. How far north is the snow going to make it? Looks like it'll make it into most of southeast Wisconsin. However, closer to Dodge County, Fond du Lac, up towards Sheboygan and Manitowoc, you may not see any snow from this system whatsoever. So the farther south you are, the better chance you have to see some snow. And south of Milwaukee, it'll actually be warm enough that we may see some rain or some sleet mixing in. All of the snow is out of here by midnight. So this isn't going to last too long. The snow won't be around too long. Could be slick on the roads Friday night. Milwaukee south, we've got the potential to see looks like 1 to 3 inches of snow. As you head a little farther north, you may see absolutely nothing sticking to the ground, at least as far as new snow accumulations, up to about an inch. Today, again, we'll call it partly cloudy, 28 for a high this afternoon. Winds not going to be too strong. Again, overnight it's chilly. Temperatures in the teens, 36 for Friday, 34. Pretty quiet weather day for us on Saturday. We've got the chance for a little snow or a couple of flurries on Sunday. And next week we'll see temperatures warming up with highs above freezing, approaching 40 by the middle of next week.
Thanks, Kristen. 6:13 on TMJ4 News today. Kind of interesting when you think about 2020. All of the reasons we would love to forget this year are the very reasons it's unforgettable.
Shannon Sims has a closer look at some of the local stories that left a major impact.
The year of 2020 started out with so many expectations.
He's inhuman.
Would this be the year the Bucks clinch an NBA title?
Let there be beer.
The city of Milwaukee was all ready to host the Democratic National Convention, but it was clear 2020 had different plans.
This pandemic is serious, and we need to exercise caution and preparedness.
Shortly after the snow melted, coronavirus was more than a virus only affecting cruise ship passengers like Debbie Loftus of Germantown, stranded at sea, or how this unknown virus would force a Nina family to remain quarantined in China for months. Coronavirus made its way to Wisconsin with its first case on February 5th.
We probably weren't expecting Wisconsin specifically.
Today, in Dane County, a person's chances of getting sick from this novel coronavirus remains very low.
6 weeks later, it would be a virus that would stop us all in our tracks.
As of 5 p.m. today, all bars will be closed in the state and restaurants will be closed except for takeout and delivery.
Businesses shuttered, classes dismissed, and social gatherings a distant memory. As the number of infections spread, we saw no one was exempt from the deadly virus.
Not only do we not have a flattening of the curve, but we have quite the opposite. We're seeing a steepening of the curve as our numbers are getting worse and worse.
As we navigated through this new normal, some were able to rebound to virtual work, while others faced furloughs, pink slips, and months of waiting for unemployment benefits to kick in. And while COVID took its toll on every aspect of our lives, another tidal wave headed our way. The death of Joel Acevedo at the hands of an off-duty Milwaukee police officer, the shooting death of Alvin Cole by a now former Wauwatosa police officer, and then the video of a Kenosha police officer shooting Jacob Blake in the back sent people to the streets in protest. This summer of unrest, at times peaceful and at other times destructive. And even deadly after an Illinois teen was arrested for shooting and killing 2 men and injuring another during a riot in Kenosha. The calls for police reform and social justice at times found protesters and police pitted against each other. It would be the response to a protest in Milwaukee that left the city without a police chief after Alfonso Morales was demoted.
The chief, effective immediately, is demoted to the rank of captain.
In all that shook us to our core, there were still many bright spots that gave us reason to pause, reflect, and believe in humanity. Giannis shows us that the love between a father and a son never gets old while sharing this moment on social media.
Thank you for all you all are doing.
Khadijah Smith baked hundreds of cookies to give to doctors and nurses working on the front lines. When protesters vandalized a block of North Avenue businesses in Wauwatosa, it was community members who came out in the early morning hours to clean up.
I think there's a lot of people that just want to be part of a solution.
When it looked like Tandem Restaurant would have to close its doors for good, owner Caitlin Cullen was determined to feed folks in the neighborhood until the cupboards were bare.
And the structures haven't been put into place to help people yet, so we kind of tried to step in.
But her willingness to serve turned into a never-ending table. The home bridge finally lit bright for all to see.
These are the people's lights, and Milwaukee truly put this together.
An artist taking creative energy to post up colorful murals of hope and inclusion around town.
Even if things seem like they're not going the way they should, you can come out on top.
It's a message that rings true this year. We are all in this together. In Milwaukee, Shannon Sims, TMJ4 News.
Coming up on TMJ4 News today, shining a light on independent artists both near and far. How a small business in Waterford is showing their support for other small businesses all across the U.S. Welcome back. Our We're Open series continues this morning at a small shop with a big impact. Delaney Bry shows us how Main Street Mercantile is helping other small businesses.
The pandemic has changed lives in so many ways. For Vanna Lyon, it was finding her way out of an office and into the community.
So my background is actually in e-commerce. So I worked for a number of Fortune 500 companies managing their e-commerce sites.
Wanting to help small businesses thrive, Main Street Mercantile in Waterford opened in September.
I just felt like it was really important to provide people with the opportunity to shop local and shop small instead of having to go to the big box retailers for gifts.
Stocked with products from small businesses across America, Vanna's store is helping keep small alive in Wisconsin and beyond.
Everything in here has a story, so I've connected with each brand individually and brought in some of my favorite brands that I've found over the years.
Surpassing expectations, the community has returned the favor by turning Vanna's business into a passion.
When they're reading the towels and laughing, or they're reading the cards and laughing, I love that. I feel like I'm bringing a little bit of joy and happiness to people in a time when we really do need that.
At Main Street Mercantile, you can shop online, pick up curbside, or come inside to discover the perfect treasure for your loved ones or for yourself. Delaney Bry, TMJ4 News.
6:23, taking a live look outside. Our tower camera in Racine this morning. Roads in good shape, but for folks who like the snow and enjoy an opportunity to get out there and do some sledding, snowshoeing, skiing, snowmobiling. That snow is at least sticking around for a while as we go over to Kristen this morning.
Yeah, no new snow today. We'll actually see some sunshine this afternoon. A good day to get outside. Cloudy this morning. The sunshine comes a little later today. 20s as we head from this morning into this afternoon. No big warm up on the way for today. All of us end up below the freezing mark for highs today. We'll only get up to about 28 in Milwaukee, and we're at 25 this morning. 27 this afternoon for Racine, about 28 in Kenosha, and 29 for Port Washington. As you bring in the new year tonight, it is going to be cool. At midnight, we'll be down to about 19 degrees, but those wind chills will range from about 5 to 15, even with a light wind. 19 will feel a whole lot cooler. It's quiet for us tonight. Snow doesn't arrive until Friday afternoon into Friday evening. We're going to take a closer look at that forecast for snow and let you know just how much snow we're expecting coming up. Still ahead.
Thanks, Kristen. Check this out. It's not a COVID vaccine, but a dose of donuts that can help cure a sweet craving. National Bakery is making these donut vaccine kits. They include 6 glazed punchki and then a syringe with the raspberry filling to go with it. But then it's, you assemble yourself. They're only available today, and you do have to pre-order the box. Bakery opens in just a few minutes at 6:30. I imagine that will be popular. Tasty enough anyway.
Oh yeah, I've never had a punchki before, but I love interactive desserts like that where you have to
interactive dessert. Yeah, that's a new, you created a new whole category.
Well, yes, those are fun where you have to stick the syringe in the punchki and fill it up. I don't know.
Interactive dessert. I like it. That's the phrase for the day. 6:25 on TMJ4 News Today.
Taking a live look over Port Washington. The roadways look clear this morning, but you might see some slick spots, so use caution. Meteorologist Kristen Kershaw will be back with a look at your forecast.
And we still got a lot more news ahead this morning. Out to Ryan Jenkins, what he's got coming up after 6:30.
Good morning. It appears that the roughly 500 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine that were left out to spoil at the Aurora Medical Center here in Grafton may have been left out on purpose. We're told the employee no longer works here. We'll tell you how local and federal authorities are now getting involved when we come back. Now at 6:30, roughly 500 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine spoiled at a medical center in Grafton on purpose. The employee responsible no longer works here. We'll tell you how local and federal authorities are now getting involved.
Plus, the new, more contagious strain of COVID-19 popping up in the U.S. The 2 states now trying to trace how it got there and where it's spreading.
And our weather this morning, quiet across the state. We do have some cloud cover around, but we're not going to be tracking any snow as we finish out 2020. But we do have some snow on the way for Friday. We'll chat more about that in a few minutes.
All the information you need to start your morning. This is TMJ4 News Today.
6:30 a.m. So nice to see you with us on this New Year's Eve morning. I'm Vince Vetrano.
And I'm Adriana Mendez, filling in for Susan Kim this morning. The FBI is investigating the loss of hundreds of doses of coronavirus vaccine at a local hospital. Dozens of vials of the vaccine were removed from a refrigerator at the Aurora Hospital in Grafton. They were left out and had to be thrown away.
What was initially reported as a mistake now appears to be a deliberate act. Ryan Jenkins is live with more on the investigation this morning. Ryan?
Yeah, good morning. This information just in overnight, police releasing that statement saying that the FBI and the FDA are now getting involved in this investigation. We're working to learn more about what this investigation entails. Of course, because this is an active investigation, details are very limited right now. A spokesperson for the FBI telling me that they are aware of this incident. Now, that statement by police was released after Aurora Health gave an update saying the employee who took 57 vials out of the pharmacy refrigerator here at this hospital in Grafton, allowing roughly 500 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine to spoil, did so purposefully. Now, TMJ4 first told you about this story when it broke earlier this week. It was first thought by Aurora Health that this was all a mistake, but this update comes after an internal investigation led to that employee's confession. According to Aurora Health, in a statement, they say that employee no longer works here. That statement also says, in part, quote, "We continue to believe that vaccination is our way out of the pandemic. We are more than disappointed that this individual's actions will result in a delay of more than 500 people receiving their vaccine." Now, some people in town here, of course, upset by this news.
We need these vaccines, right away. I mean, there's people still stuck in hospitals all over the world, and we need those vaccines not only for doctors, but to save people too.
And as the investigation continues this morning, we are, of course, working to learn more details here. No word yet on any potential charges for that former employee. We could learn some more details today from Aurora Health. As soon as any more information becomes available, we will bring that to you. Reporting live in Grafton, Ryan Jenkins, TMJ4 News.
All right, Ryan, thank you. Well, a second coronavirus outbreak has been reported at the Wisconsin Veteran Home at Union Grove. 11 residents and 6 employees have tested positive so far. It comes just days after they started vaccinations. Back in August, the Racine Journal-Times reported an outbreak was linked to the deaths of 10 residents. The new, more contagious strain of the virus, first identified in England, has now been found in 2 states, Colorado and California. Health officials say today both cases in Colorado are National Guardsmen working at the same assisted living facility.
If you're ill, instead of only making 2 or 3 other people sick, you might actually spread it to 4 or 5 people. That means that we'll have more cases in our communities.
While the mutated strain is highly contagious, experts say the vaccine should be effective against it.
It is 6:34 on TMJ4 News today. Taking a look outside at our weather conditions right now. The streets are really in good shape. That didn't take long, and still some snow hanging around if you want to have some fun with it.
Yeah, today we're not going to melt much of that snow. Temperatures will stay below the freezing mark. We're into the 20s this morning. Not a huge warm up on the way this afternoon, but doesn't feel too bad this morning. Winds not too strong, between 5 and 10 miles an hour. But even with the light wind this morning, wind chills into the teens for most places. Feels like 18 out the door right now in Milwaukee. Across the state, we're not tracking snow here. We do have plenty of cloud cover around, but we'll get rid of some of this cloud cover as we head into the afternoon. Here's how the next 12 hours look. As we get into the afternoon hours, we'll only warm again into the upper 20s, so not a big warm up. Clouds this morning, but you can see the sunshine returns for us this afternoon. We stay dry as we head through today, but we do have some changes on the way for tomorrow. If you're going to be out and about celebrating New Year's Eve, count on it being cold. Temperatures will be in the teens overnight, and it'll feel even cooler with a little bit of wind. So we're dry for New Year's Eve. That snow doesn't move in until the afternoon hours of New Year's Day. We're going to check in on your 7-day forecast. We'll give you a preview of how the weekend looks coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Kristen. We are hours away from launching a new year. Many of us uncertain what our work lives will look like in the coming year. Who's heading back to the office? Which businesses might not survive in the wake of the pandemic? We are looking back and ahead this morning as we prepare to ring in this new year. Mark Kass, editor-in-chief of our partners at the Milwaukee Business Journal. He's live with us this morning. Mark, Happy New Year. One final time.
Happy New Year to you.
I'm going to pick this scab one last time, I promise. No Bucks hosting the playoff games at Fiserv Forum. No Democratic National Convention. No Ryder Cup. If there is an American city that missed a bigger opportunity than Milwaukee this year, I can't name it.
No, I think you're right. It was supposed to be the year of Milwaukee. Remember, 2020 was going to be great. We're going to have all this activity, all this money, everything was going to happen. And then obviously everything happened in March. So it's been a hard year, but I think the thing that I've heard over and over the past few weeks is that everyone's kind of learning from this past year, kind of things that work, things that obviously really didn't work, and kind of how to bring that into 2021. So I think you're going to see a lot of creativity, a lot of new things. And I think 2021 really has the opportunity to be a really strong year.
So let's look ahead then, Mark. We have good news on the vaccine front, but there is still a long road ahead. We have some months here to get through winter. Who are the businesses locally that may struggle most to survive in these next several months?
I don't think I'm going to surprise you by saying it's going to be all the restaurants and it could be some of the retailers, because it's still, it's winter. It's hard to be outside. It's hard to spread out. It's hard to to do that. So I think the next 3 to 4 months are going to be very tough. You're thinking that April through June, maybe things will improve, but I think we're going to lose some more restaurants, unfortunately. It's going to be a tough 3 months.
There is stimulus that was passed, Mark, and we've talked a lot about the direct checks to individuals, but there's PPP that you have been reporting on, the payroll protection plan. Which businesses is this going to help, and are you hearing from them that it's enough?
Yeah, I think it's a start. I think it helped. It helped 8 weeks in June of last year. I think you'll see it help again here. Is it enough? I think for some it will be that step to help them over the next few months. But is it enough to last for 6 months? No, it's probably 8 to 12 weeks worth of thing. But again, the next 3 months are key just because of the weather and harder to get around, harder to get everybody inside. So I think it's going to help, no doubt about it.
And then there's all of us, whether or not we're going back to work at the office or wherever that is. I'm hearing from a lot of people, Mark, that it's summer at the earliest before things return to a semblance of normal. Is that what you're hearing?
I think so, because here I am. I'm working in our home here, and I've been here since March. I think you're going to see that. I know. I mean, a lot of the larger entities in Milwaukee are thinking April, May, June. I've heard some who've said all the way to September. I think you're going to see really through 2021. You may see the option. You may see half your employees in the office, half your employees at home. You may you may split shifts. You may have half days type of thing. So I think there's going to be a lot of that. I think that's going to, help and hurt. I mean, it's good for the companies because they're still seeing that productivity. It's not good for the downtown because it's not having all those individuals here to eat and to shop.
Let me make this our last point, too, because it's interesting you talk about that. There is some reason to be optimistic about a total bounce back for downtown. The reporting that you've done in the Business Journal about some of the big real estate projects that are still moving forward, the residential towers or office buildings. Some people are putting their money and banking on a rebound.
Yeah, I think there is. I think it's been interesting. Over the past 2 months, I thought it'd be a lot things not happening, but for our real estate is happening. You're seeing more construction still. You're seeing things be completed. I think there is a lot of confidence. There is a lot of individuals who believe 2021 is going to be a very strong year into 2022. We got some significant things going underway, obviously with the project on the lakefront, with the couture, and then with the conventions center, which everybody kind of forgets is actually going to start construction next year. It's not going to be completed until 2024, but still, there's going to be a lot of activity. I think if you're in construction, you're going to have a lot of work to do next year.
Mark Kass, editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. Look forward to our continuing partnership. Mark, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Vince. Have a great day.